Good evening. You're watching State of Business on Art Television. This is Zeenat Musafir. Let's take a look at the headlines first. First Presidential Media Awards ceremony to be held on the 19th of December. Launch of the Small and Medium Enterprise Board will support the government's policy to promote SMEs, says Finance Minister. News in details. The first Presidential Media Awards ceremony will be held on the 19th of December this year at the BMICH under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The press conference with regard to the awards ceremony was held in Colombo this morning. The press conference was attended by the Minister of Finance and Mass Media Mangala Samaraweera, State Minister of Finance Iran Wickramaratne, Deputy Minister of Finance and Mass Media Lasantha Alagiyawanna and the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance and Mass Media Dr. RHS Samaratunga. Presidential Media Awards 2018 is conducted by the Ministry of Finance and Mass Media in appreciation of the efforts of journalists in establishing an excellent media culture in the country and to evaluate their contribution therein. The ministry has arranged 54 presidential awards to be presented at the ceremony, covering all electronic, print and digital media, which will also include lifetime awards and the award for the most promising journalist. Accordingly, all journalists, creators, heads of media institutions and newspaper editors are hereby invited to submit their creative work published, broadcast, telecast via the platforms of electronic, print and digital media. The application and the instructions can be downloaded from the website www.pma.gov.lk or www.media.gov.lk, and the applications should be submitted before the 13th of August 2018. Addressing the launch of the Small and Medium Enterprise Board, Minister of Finance and Mass Media Mangala Samaraweera welcomed the initiative that will support the government's policy to promote SMEs. The minister further stated that entrepreneurs play a key role in any economy and the growth of the economy should be driven by private enterprise.
This is an important step in the empowerment of private enterprise in Sri Lanka, which, as you know, is a key tenet of the government's economic program. The SME board will be an important complement to the Enterprise Sri Lanka initiative, which was launched 2 weeks ago in Colombo, to develop the entrepreneurship and the SME sector in this country. During the pre-colonial era, we were a very vibrant destination, and that needs to be re-established because entrepreneurs play a key role in any economy, and the growth of economy, I believe, should be driven by private enterprise.
The minister further elaborated on the recent measures that the government has initiated to liberalize factor markets with the objective of enhancing access to capital for entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprises.
In order to develop a growth model driven by private enterprise, the government needs to establish robust institutions, simplified procedures, and affordable access to the factors of production, land, labor, and capital. The 2018 budget has proposed a number of measures to liberalize factor markets, including land and labor. These are being implemented with regular monitoring by the Ministry of Finance, and the Enterprise Sri Lanka program was launched with the objective of enhancing the access to capital for entrepreneurs and SMEs. We hope to address this through 15 tailor-made concessional loan schemes. Through the Enterprise Sri Lanka loan schemes, we are encouraging banks to lend based on the quality of the business plan and the expected cash flows. In addition, we will soon be introducing the SME Guarantee Fund, which will be another avenue for SMEs to borrow without physical collateral. The next step for Sri Lankan entrepreneurs and the startup economy is to graduate to the capital markets. The government will support companies in the early stages, but eventually companies must evolve to stand on their own feet and grow into larger enterprises.
We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned for more news after these commercials. Welcome back. In its fourth monetary policy review today, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka noted that according to the provisional estimates released by the Department of Census and Statistics, the Sri Lankan economy grew by 3.2% year-on-year in the first quarter of 2018 compared to the revised annual growth rate of 3.3% in 2017. The Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka also expressed its hope to record an overall growth rate of 4% to 4.5% by the end of this year.
Growth came out at 3.2% in the first quarter of this year. That clearly means that there is still a negative output gap. Core inflation is well within our target range. Core inflation is that component of inflation that monetary policy can influence, and that is just a little under 4%, it's well under 4% in fact. So that's very much contained. The inflation outlook also remains favorable, and our expectation surveys indicate that inflation expectations are fairly well anchored. I think that we are in the process of revising that. I think 5% growth would be very ambitious indeed, because we've had 3.2% growth in the first quarter. It will pick up in the second half. We are revising. By the time we meet next time, we will have a revised number for you.
Feel that the year would end up with a 4% growth rate, is it? Or
Now,
less than 4%?
No, I don't think it'll be less than 4%. Somewhere between 4 and 4.5 maybe.
Addressing the media, the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, noted reasons for the low growth rates and emphasized the need to address them promptly.
The reason for low growth is not the cost of funds. There are lots of other things which affect confidence in the country, sentiment, expectations, structural problems. All these need to be addressed. By just reducing interest rates and pumping money into the economy, particularly at a time when the trade deficit and the current account deficit are deteriorating, is not a prudent course of action. So that's another reason why the Monetary Board came to the conclusion that there shouldn't be a loosening of monetary policy, and the way to boost growth is through factor market reform, through a better investment climate, through better investment promotion, through better trade facilitation, through better using our trade policy to take advantage of our location. So those are the things that we need to do to drive growth, and to just create an artificial boom by reducing interest rates. It will create a boom in terms of consumption growth and a balance of payments problem, but it doesn't seem likely that it's going to boost growth very much if you look at the data.
We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned to see how the stocks perform today after these commercials. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The All Share Price Index dropped 9.15 points to close at 6,108.71, and the S&P SR20 gained 27.83 points to close at 3,323.52. The turnover was 753.5 million rupees and 22.4 million shares were traded. Next is Forex rates. That's all the news we have for you today. Join us tomorrow with Biz Roundup on our television. Until then, take care and good night.